Dr. Wool, can you join us on the stage?
Good afternoon. My name is Janessa Wilson. Adrian Sheffield and I are the National Honor Society advisors here at Harrison High School, and I congratulate each and every one of you for being here. It gives me great pleasure to welcome Superintendent Wool, Ms. Bukema, our assistant principals, the NHS faculty members, our inductees, their family, and friends to Harrison High School's 60th Annual National Honor Society Induction Ceremony. I would ask everyone to stand now for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing as Senior National Honor Society member Hannah Lubowitz sings the Star-Spangled Banner.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Hannah. Not only can she sing, dance, act, amongst her many other talents, Hannah will also be our MC this afternoon, so I will turn it over now to Hannah. Everyone can sit.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson. Good afternoon, everyone. At this time, I would like to ask our principal, Ms. Bukema, to say a few words.
Well, good afternoon. I want to welcome each of you to what I consider to be one of the most significant events we hold on our calendar in the course of a school year, the induction ceremony to National Honor Society. I am also fortunate enough to be the first to congratulate our inductees on earning this recognition and being accepted into membership of the National Honor Society. I want to thank members of the school board who are watching via the live stream this afternoon, and our superintendent of schools, Dr. Wool, for the value they place in this recognition and supporting our membership in this nationally recognized organization. Thank you also for all of those who have made tonight's ceremony possible through their work with our students by serving as committee members in the selection process and the leadership of the National Honor Society in the advisorship of Ms. Adrienne Sheffield and Mrs. Janessa Wilson. I also want to recognize the administrative team present this evening and participating in tonight's ceremony, Assistant Principals Lori Griffo and Larry Mastroda, and also in attendance, our Director of Guidance, Mrs. Kelly Malcheski. And I also hear some members of our teacher committee are also here, so welcome to them also this afternoon, and thank you for attending. And a very special welcome to the parents, family, and friends of our inductees joining us via the live stream this afternoon, who know what it has taken for our inductees to be here. It is much more than just being smart and hardworking. It takes you demonstrating each of the 4 pillars of National Honor Society: scholarship, leadership, service, and character. Inductees, to exemplify just one of these pillars is something all of us can be proud of for you. However, to demonstrate and possess all 4 does more than give us pride. It gives us hope. Each of you has a great responsibility, if you will, a burden, for you have the capacity, as you've already demonstrated in all of the actions you have taken to be here tonight. That capacity is to be an agent of change, and that is where our hope lives. That each of you will take the gifts you have been given and the drive that you possess to make the world we are giving you better. As you know from this past year and all you have seen and experienced yourselves, we need as a nation to be better. Inductees, you have heard me many times ask yourselves what kind of high school you want to attend and what you are doing to make it that kind of high school. This is a burden that you share a greater responsibility in. You are our scholars, you are our leaders, you are our upstanders, and you are our humanitarians. On behalf of all of us, we are proud of what you have done, but we are much more proud and excited to see what you will do in the years to come. Congratulations to all of you.
Thank you, Ms. Bukema. And now I would like to invite our superintendent, Dr. Wool, to speak.
Wow. Good evening, everybody. It's not really evening, it's more like late afternoon. Families at home, pets, whoever else might be watching. I'm just happy we're here. I'm happy that we finally get to put you in a room and see you, spend time with you. I'm happy that everybody's back in school. And I commend you wholeheartedly for making it this far. It was not an easy set of circumstances that we handed to you. Be a scholar, continue to contribute to your school when most of you weren't here, or you were existing on Zoom, sort of. I think a lot about this speech. I make lots of them. I've made over 200 commencement speeches. This one is the most difficult for me because I think you are the hope. And everybody tells you that, and it sounds like words, but it's not. You have some inherent gifts that you were given, and you've taken advantage of those gifts. And I always struggle with what to tell you. So today I've decided what not to tell you. Here's the things that I think you should reject rather than what I think you should do. Don't be defined by other people's labels. Don't be woke. Don't be conservative. Don't be liberal. Be true. Be honest. Be committed to being a good human being. Everybody gives you these false dichotomies as if, you've got to choose one side or the other. We're all on actually the same side, the side of being good human beings. Yesterday, I wrote a letter and I was pleased that justice was done in the murder of George Floyd. That doesn't mean I don't support our police. You don't have to choose sides. You have to choose right. And choosing right is harder than choosing sides because it means that the answers are never easy. They're never in your face. You don't get to say, I'm this or I'm that, because life is more nuanced. It requires you to really look deeply at yourself and at others. You know, this part of my superintendency has been new for even me, and I've been at this for a very long time. I've never been a superintendent during a pandemic, and I've never been criticized more. No decision I've made has been the right decision. Bring them back to school, don't bring them back to school. 6 feet, 3 feet, mask, no mask, vaccination, no vaccination. So what do you do in these circumstances? Who do you listen to? Where is the truth? Only you can determine where the truth is. And there's one thing that always brings me back to true north when I'm lost. And folks, I promise you, I've been lost a lot this year. Because every expert had a different opinion. When I'm really lost, I just close my door and I ask myself, what is truly in the best interest of the most people? How can I do something that's going to make somebody else's life just a little bit better, even if it's going to make people angry? You know what else you'll learn in those moments? Who really shares your values and who just speaks values. I never judge people by what they say, nor should you. I judge them by what they do. I don't know if you've ever looked hard at your high school, but we've made a lot of changes here in my time as superintendent. Not everybody comes through those doors with the same opportunities, but we've worked hard to make sure that you all have the same opportunities. We've tried to level the playing field. Your life should not be an artifact of what you were born into, but what opportunities we can provide. You're the best and the brightest, yet we don't rank you. We don't separate you by fractions of insignificant academic averages. We encourage you all to achieve. There's enough room for everybody in this world to be respected and cared for. And only you can make that happen. Lots of people talk about big ideas. You know how I think you change the world? One person at a time. By listening with your heart. Set aside what you think you know and listen. I've done more listening in the last 10 months than I have in my entire life. And what I've learned over and over again is that I even still need to listen harder and be more open. So don't accept the label. Find the truth. Be true to yourself. Care for other people. If you do those things, the great life you've already started will expand exponentially. I couldn't be more proud of what you've accomplished. This school year's not over. We're going to have lots of great successes before it is. I thank you for being good human beings. Continue to do that good work. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Wool. At this point in the program, we turn to the tradition of the candle lighting. The 4 candles present on stage represent the 4 core principles of the National Honor Society, which are scholarship, character, leadership, and service. Each one of the inductees today has demonstrated exceptional merit in each one of these principles. The candles lit here also represent the idea that you will continue to use your talents serving these principles as a light or a beacon for those around you. Jack Kelly will now speak on the core principle of scholarship.
Good afternoon, everyone. In the timeless words of Marian Wright Edelman, education is for improving the lives of others and for leaving your community and world better than you found it. I stand before you all today, humbled by the opportunity to speak about the core NHS value of scholarship. Scholarship is undeniably a complex concept that can be perceived and interpreted in a plethora of ways. The National Honor Society defines scholarship as a commitment to learning, a willingness to spend hours and read and study. A dictionary will write that scholarship is academic study or achievement. The way that I look at scholarship is the duality of inquiry and action, both parts of which are equally important. The first formative part of scholarship is about innate curiosity. To exemplify scholarship, one must exude passion for learning and ask questions about the world around them. You don't just accept the things you learn in school for what they are. You probe, you explore, and you challenge. This curiosity can manifest itself in many ways. Maybe when you're outside on a summer night and look up at the stars, you're interested in outer space, you're interested in galaxies. Perhaps you're a voracious reader and yearn to read your next texts to find what answers or lack thereof they may hold. This spirit of inquiry and passion for learning does not mean that you need to love every course you take. Rather, it means you must find your interests and allow your interests to guide the answers you seek out. The second fundamental part of scholarship, one that is often overlooked, is about action. How can you guide your learning to have tangible and demonstrable positive impacts about the world around you? Marian Wright Edelman, in the quote that I read at the beginning of this speech, encapsulates this perfectly. You can look to the stars and wonder what the deep depths of space have to offer, but scholarship also means acting on your fascination. How can you help us get closer to the stars, closer to understanding the very questions you pose? You can consume texts and ponder the meaning of different literary works, but how will you help us empower and inspire the next great generation of writers? Scholarship is inextricably linked to both of these ideas. It is not merely posing a question that will be left unanswered, nor is it using the work of somebody else to do something positive. Scholarship at its core is about loving to learn, asking questions, and then finding answers in a transformative way that leaves us all for the better. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. And now Gianna Foucault will speak on character.
Good afternoon, everyone. Before I begin, I'd like you to take a moment to think about the first things that come to mind when you hear the word character. What does it mean to you? How does it shape your day-to-day life? When I hear the word character, I automatically think of my faith. As most of you know, I'm a Catholic, and my beliefs play a significant role in how I live my life. One of my favorite Bible verses is Matthew chapter 22, verses 37 through 39, which state, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, and love your neighbor as yourself." I like this verse because it emphasizes how it all comes down to love, how all people deserve to be treated with kindness and respect, how it's just as important to take care of those around you as it is to take care of yourself. This year has been a challenge for many in different ways, though it's clear the most prominent challenge the world faces right now is division. Personal beliefs and opinions have hindered our ability to love. We need to remember that just because we may not agree with each other doesn't mean we have to be enemies, because in reality, we're more alike than we are different. Look at the people around you. We may come from different backgrounds and beliefs, but we're all human, and we all feel the same things. We all experience very similar day-to-day emotions that come with life, both inside and outside of this building. These experiences allow us to be able to empathize and connect with one another. I believe that everything in life has a purpose. Therefore, I believe we were put in each other's lives for a reason. We must choose to be empathetic and support our peers rather than turn away. Rachel Joy Scott, the founder of Friends of Rachel, once said, "If one person goes out of their way to show compassion, then it will start a chain reaction." Do not underestimate the power of kindness, even if it's just a small wave in the halls or holding the door for the person behind you. Those little acts of kindness truly go a long way. I know how I feel when someone acknowledges me in the halls, especially when I'm having a tough day. I then am inspired to pass on that kindness, and the chain reaction begins. To me, love, kindness, and character all mean the same thing. The process of being inducted into National Honor Society has shown us what setting aside time to help others can do. Not only are you helping those in need and doing your part to make the world a better place, you're allowing yourself to grow and develop your character as an individual. The NHS definition of character states, "It is the force of character which guides one through life, and once developed, grows steadily." Character is achieved and not received. It is the product of constant action and daily striving to make the right choices in life. So, let's challenge ourselves to consciously make the effort to be compassionate to those around us each day. Whether it be saying hi to those in the halls or simply giving someone a compliment, that's all it takes to start a chain reaction. That's all it takes to be one step closer to building strong character. Thank you.
Thank you, Gianna. And now Macarena Hesse will speak on leadership.
Good afternoon, everyone. Coming into high school my freshman year, I, like many others, was terrified of what this new environment would bring. I remember feeling the same way when I relocated to Florida after living in Peru for a few years. My solution? Create a lemonade stand. It was a huge success. My entire neighborhood lined up the streets for homemade lemonade being sold by two 10-year-olds they had never met before. Taking this initiative was one of the most rewarding moments of my life, because it allowed me to form a community and showed me the benefits of taking risks and pursuing opportunities. I also got to meet a lot of new people, and that sparked my interest in exploring different communities and learning through different perspectives. This turned out to be a more valuable skill than I originally thought. What started off as an outlet for my curiosity turned into passion projects and innovation in high school. Over the past few years, I've grown to see Harrison High School as a home and take pride in being a part of this incredible community. Recently, I've been able to work on amazing projects through clubs like Internationally Minded Harrison and as part of the Student Advisory Board. Working in tandem with other school leaders to celebrate our diverse community has continued to encourage me and many others to use our voice to celebrate our unique ideas, passions, and individuality. A core part of leadership is listening to others. Helping host our school open forums and speaking with individual students has helped open my eyes to new perspectives and create change in our community through powerful discussions. Being open-minded, accepting, and able to to collaborate are all key traits found in leaders that I see in my fellow students standing in front of me, proudly representing the National Honor Society. However, I know how difficult it can be to express yourself and be confident enough to use your voice to stand up for what you believe in, especially in the face of adversity. I understand these fears and how influential they may be in deterring you from pursuing projects and ideas you've had for a while. If there's anything that anyone listening takes away from this speech, take that risk. Take the initiative to pursue your passions and work with others in a safe environment to bring your creative ideas to life and become a leader in your community. It's worth it. And for anyone still following the lemonade stand story, we ended up creating our own delivery system by biking around the block and delivering lemonade to everyone. It really shows how leadership doesn't always have to be an extravagant experience. It can be as simple as turning lemons into lemonade. Thank you.
Thank you, Macarena. And finally, Aiden Lefkowitz will speak on service.
Hello, everyone. I think of service in a three-component manner. The first being discovering those in need. From my experience during this pandemic, the need was the lack of technological intelligence for elderly to be able to communicate during a global pandemic. My friend, Gabriel Voskoff, and I discovered this when we weren't able to communicate with our grandparents during the pandemic and empathized with the level of isolation this must be giving to an entire generation of individuals. The second component is the willingness to donate time and abilities to help out those in need. This meant designing a website called The Web Explained to teach the elderly how to use the internet with our limited knowledge of using Wix, partnering with individuals such as the Harrison Public Library to spread the word about the website, and thirdly, answering phone calls to help individuals and also with tech support. My favorite part of service and the reason why we all help out is to better the lives of others. To me, this is every time I help an individual book a vaccine appointment and then see how happy they are when they're finally able to see their loved ones. Just as I was finally able to see my grandmother once both of us were vaccinated. The gratification of knowing I helped out another individual is worth its weight in gold and the only form of compensation that the Harrison National Honor Society inductees of the class of 2022 seek. In the end, we all just want to help out someone else who needs it. Whether it be your friend who needs help with their calculus homework, neighbor who needs someone to pick up groceries for them while they are sick, or just helping out at your local soup kitchen. We all just want to make a difference in someone else's life. It is important to remember every single person in this room has demonstrated they want to help out those in need, are more than capable of doing so, and love the results. I implore each and every one of you to continue to contribute back to the community, because in the midst of a global health crisis, the community has never needed your service more than now. Thank you.
Thank you, Aiden. We've arrived at the induction part of our program, at which time our inductees will be sworn into membership of the National Honor Society. So I will ask the inductees to rise, raise their right hands, and recite the NHS pledge that can be found in their envelopes together. I pledge to uphold the high purposes of the National Honor Society to which I have been selected. Thank you. At this point, I'd like to call one of our assistant principals, Mr. Larry Mastroda, to the podium to read the names of our new NHS members. When your name is called, please rise and turn to the camera to be recognized.
Good afternoon, everybody. On behalf of Ms. Griffo and myself, congratulations to the class of 2021 NHS. Unfortunately, Ms. Griffo, an issue arose right before the ceremony that she's tending to, but I know she's here in spirit. When I call your name, please stand. Arthur Edelman Brantz, Ali Ahmed, Mia Altamiro, Tristan Ann, Julia Ansel, John Antolino, Olivia Artuso, Isabella Beardsley, Mai Blaustein, Olivia Burgatz, Alexis Cameron, Emily Carrillo, Anthony Castellano, Juliana Celentano, Socorro Chuso, Robert Cirillo, Felipe Couto, Giovanni Cutri, Paula Dallo Lopez, Olivia DeBald, Amber Detlis, Harley Ditcher, Eileen Dockery, Madison Erbelding, Helena Fesdotter, Jonathan Gary, Catherine Geller, Lena Janaris, Ethan Gilden, Caroline Gilmore, Nicole Herman, Macarena Hesse, Hope Hessler, Tamaki Haeda, Yusuke Haeda, Yu Hijaya, Alex Homan, Lauren Homan, Paul Horvath, Joanna Housen, Madeline Heimowitz, Yuki Inoue, John Carpapides, Ian Kavanaugh, Jack Kelly, Sophia Lago, Sophia Lynn Julie, Alana Lapkin, Aiden Lefkowitz. Samantha Levine. Ryan Lewis. Benjamin Lovinger. Mildred Maldonado. Danielle Mandel. Alex Marino. Jorge Marino. Gabriella Maricini. Drake Martin. Gianna Marziliano. Megan McGurk. Julia Mealy. Veronica Maloney. Araceli Manjes Chavez. Elizabeth Murno. Graham Napak. Caitlin Ostreicher. Isabel Parrish. Devin Peterson. Julia Pinella. Victoria Peralta. Nicholas Peterman. Rennie Rabin. Amelia Rasmussen. Georgia Robb. Ryan Rosenberg. Jolie Roshko. Liliana Rossi. Abigail Roth. Jake Sarlo. Dylan Silber. Luke Simmons. Adriana Silney. Arun Sood. Alexandra Stylo. Gabriella Streeter. Yuya Sugo. Yuko Suzuki. Jessica Topper. Emma Torrey. Ryan Togier. Tyler Teese. Kayla Vasculati. Danielle Vella. Gabriel Voskov. Gianna Rukel. Luke Wong. Millie Wong. Daniela Zumo. Congratulations once again.
Thank you, Mr. Mastroda. Congratulations once again. And finally, Ms. Adrienne Sheffield, our National Honor Society Chapter Advisor, will say a few words to close out the ceremony.
So here I am. Thank you. And congratulations again to everyone here, to all our new members of the National Honor Society. We're all very proud of you. And while I have you all in one place, which is a rare thing these days, I have a few things to tell you. First, as you know, Mrs. Wilson and I are co-advisors of National Honor Society. So while we will continue to work together next year and both of us can answer all of your questions, Mrs. Wilson will be taking over the advising of all of you as you become senior National Honor Society members, while I will continue with advising and organizing the application process and induction of next year's junior class. Next, the pledge you recited today reminds you that this is just the beginning. You agreed to continue with the amazing work you have already been doing in scholarship and service. With the increase in rigor the IB Year 2 classes will give you, you will still have to maintain that minimum GPA, and you will still need to continue logging in your service hours on Google Classroom each month through till March of next year. The service requirement remains at 20 hours, which is about 3 hours a month, give or take. But to help you out, any service that you do over the summer will count towards next year's requirement. As for leadership, keep an eye out for an announcement on Google Classroom if you want to run for National Honor Society officer positions. Voting will take place next month. We will also be providing you with links to the national chapter's webinars on all things college that can help you with interviewing and applying to the college of your choice. It will all be on Google Classroom, so just keep watching. Don't disable the notifications. Classroom and Remind and emails are how we will continue to contact with you. Finally, as for character, stay true to who you are, the determined, caring, welcoming, reflective young adults that we have the pleasure of interacting with every day. Thank you all for coming this afternoon. We look forward to working with you all next year. Please have a very good afternoon. Okay. With that, you are free to go. You are dismissed.